What is up, guys? What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Bull Rush Live. We are back better than ever. Just want to make sure everything is good here. Make sure my sound is good. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me double check here. Just give me one sec. It's a beautiful, beautiful Friday. We have 178,926 beautiful Bull Rush traders. Just give me one sec here. Everybody can hear me fine? What is up, guys? What is up? We got a great show for you guys today. We got a great show for you guys today. All right, cool. All right, it works. Yeah, like I was saying, we got a great show for y'all. We're going to talk about some crypto, some Forex news. I got some Bull Rush updates for y'all and much, much more. Before we get into all of that, the crazy news and the action we have, I want to just give some time to let some people join. I know usually it takes a few minutes to get everybody in here. So let's give a few minutes. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll be here in just one moment. Just give me yeah, I said we are back. Like I said, we have 178,926 amazing Bull Rush competitors on the site at the moment. We got some amazing competitions that you guys need to keep an eye out for. And we're gonna go over some really, really cool news. Of course, like we cover Forex, crypto, and much, much more. So we're going to give you a nice analysis of CHF JPY and some technical analysis there. We're going to slide in and talk a little bit more about yen specifically and what happened and how it reacted after the BOJ rate hikes. We're also going to talk about sterling silver and how it's broken out to a 17-year high recently. And of course, we always go back to India. The Indian rupee has finally rebounded, or just recently rebounded back up above the 90 level versus USD. Also, we're going to talk about XRP, ETFC 30 straight days of inflows. So we're going to tell you what that means for XRP and how XRP price is responding to that. Of course, we've seen tons of corporate giants accumulate Bitcoin, Ethereum, and much, much more. So we're going to give you the scoop on that and tell you what all the big dogs are doing out there. And of course, crypto markets did have a small rally in the last week. So we do see improved macro sentiment. So we'll cover that. And I'm a little bit out of focus now. There, I move back a little bit, I guess. Let me see. I'm supposed to autofocus. We'll fix that here in a sec. Without further ado, we're still waiting for some more people to join and hop on here before we get into the meat and potatoes. Stay tuned. We may have a giveaway at the end of this. But let's get into some dashboard updates. Let's look at some live competitions. Let's see what traders are doing inside the BullRush dashboard. So let's hop right into that. There you go. Now I should be a little bit more. Beautiful. Now I look a lot more beautiful. All right. Well, like always, you know, we have daily competitions, we got weekly competitions, and we got a lot going on. If you're watching right now and you're in any competition on here, just comment which competition you are, and we will I'll pull it up and maybe we'll analyze your trades if you'd like. We got first comment here, 10 a.m. dump again today. I guess we're about to find out. I don't know what time zone you're in today, or currently. Let me know what time zone is at. 10 a.m. Eastern. If it's a different 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern our time, we'll check out the markets. And if you want us to analyze any specific charts there, Lowe's Ronin 3875, just let me know and I'll check that out. You guys control the show. And if you guys aren't controlling the show, you're in for a sweet treat because we're just going wherever my mind goes. So let's hop into this right now. Before we keep going, I just want to make sure you guys are aware of two deals that we currently have going on. One specifically for our live stream, and I want to tell you guys these real quick. So first, if you use code BRLive, you see it down there, you're going to get a 100% deposit bonus when you deposit into the system. This is great for our trading challenges that we have. And even entering our trading competitions. So, you know, you enter $25, you're actually going to get $50 in the account. You enter $50, you're really going to get $100. So use code BRLive for a 100% deposit. Now, if you specifically love trading with our prop firm, make sure you use code, either one of these codes. If you've never had a account with us before, use code WELCOME for 30% off all new accounts, whether it's a 5K or a 200K account. You're going to get 30% off using that code WELCOME. Keyword is it's your new account. So if you never had a BullRush account before, you've had a BullRush account before, don't worry. We still got codes for you. We got Save 20 for 20% off all 5, 10, and 25K accounts. And we got Save 15 for 15% off 50, 100, and 200K accounts. So make sure you use those codes. Make sure you take advantage of those deals. A-book prop firm. Remember, only verifiable A-book prop firm. The only way, and I'll go into this really quick because I think a lot of people, we get this question a lot. I was just answering this question on Discord the other day is, you know, do you guys allow news trading? Do you guys allow arbitrage? Do you guys allow this, that? Yes. The only way you can lose your account, right? You can't break any rules for losing an account, right? The only way you lose your account is by hitting drawdown. right? In any of the scenarios. We have other rules like consistency and stuff like that, but you don't lose your account for consistency. If you make a whole bunch of profit on the first day, that just means you maybe have to trade for 3-4 days until you can get funded. But the only way you can lose your account, or we don't use the D word, the denied. There's no such thing as a denied payout with BullRush. You'll never get a denied payout. If you earn a payout, we will pay you out. If you are profitable, you will get paid out. The only way you don't get paid out is by hitting drawdown. But of course, you weren't profitable if you hit drawdown. So that is that. Now, oh shoot. Sorry, just want to adjust my mic here. Just want to adjust my mic here. Keeps falling down. Yeah. So make sure you use those codes. If you're tired of denied payouts, if you're tired of trading on demo accounts or whatever, hop into BullRush. It is the one-stop shop. Of course, I've gone over it last week. I don't want to harp on it too much here, but you can really start out with $0 and become funded with BullRush. That's why we have our competitions. That's why we have our trading challenges. That's why we have all of that good stuff, because we want to just give you as many opportunities as you can to become profitable. So without further ado, let's check out some of the stuff we got going on this week in BullRush and some of the things that have happened this week in BullRush. So first off, of course, we got our crypto weekend competition starting here at 5 p.m. today in just a few hours. So make sure you hop in that. It's going to be starting in about 8 hours and 17 minutes. As the name entails, it's crypto only. So all you guys that you don't want to sit on your hands because there's no Forex or stocks to trade, this is a great competition to hop in there. It's free to enter. And of course, I believe the first place prize is let's see. It's a 5K BullRush prop account. So make sure you hop in there. Free to enter, and you can win up to a $5,000 BullRush A-book prop account. Now, there's no risk except for your time. So like I said, you can either sit there and vegetate and scroll on TikTok, or you can do something productive, join a free crypto competition, and you know what? You might just get funded by the end of the weekend. We also got our weekly competition starting up next week on the 21st, and our daily competition starting on the 22nd. Obviously, dailies every day, so we'll have one on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, so on and so on. Actually, I don't know if we'll have one on the 20th. Yep, we'll have one on the 25th. Of course, if any markets are closed, we still have crypto, right? Crypto is open all the time. And then my favorite competition, the last one I want to give a shout out to, and I want to make sure you guys know about, is that non-farm payroll, the new squawk competition. Of course, it's not for another 2 weeks, but we already have 129 people entered. First place gets a 6-month subscription. So yeah, first place gets a 6-month subscription. Second place gets a 3-month. And then yes, 4th through 10th place all get a 1-month subscription to New Squawk. So make sure you hop into there. Make sure you hop in there. It's worth a lot. I mean, just first place, the 6 months, I think it's averages out to like $150 or $200 per month. So a lot, huge amount of prizes you could win here, huge amount of opportunity you have here. So make sure you take advantage of that as well. Now let's get into some active competitions that we got going on. So of course we got our profit sprint competition. You guys are really, I'm telling you, if I was you, I would be in this one all day long. Oh, looking too short on this call. I can't make you. I'm not a short king. I'm tall. I'm like 6'12". I'm joking. Anyways, profit sprint, make sure you hop in there. We don't have that many people in there. Look, only 4 out of 9 people in there. And nobody is getting the prize. Nobody is getting the prize. So this competition ends here today. at 5 p.m. Sorry. Yes, it ends today at 5 p.m. So make sure you hop in there because guess what? If you just get 10% returns on whatever you're trading today, you win first place. And first place in this one wins a $10,000 prop account. Second and third place both win $5 basic 2-to-1 challenges. So hop in there because no one has claimed the prize yet. If nobody claims the prize by 8 p.m. or by 5 p.m. today, so in about 8 hours, just going to go on to next week's profit sprint, which starts on Monday. So make sure you hop in there. You have about 8 hours to get 10% profit. If you get 10% profit, guess what? You're going to walk away with $10,000 of a book funding. And I mean, look, nobody got close. I think last week when we were looking at this, and go back and look at last week's live stream to confirm what I'm saying here. But last week's live stream, I think we had one was it chapter possibly. Let's look at their dashboard. This is the good thing is we can kind of look at these you can look at people's dashboards here and see where they were at all times throughout history. So okay, so it looks like he has some open trades. That's why he's negative. So he might actually see these guys might come back. They might come back just because we can only see their closed trades. So if they're in the negative equity and they've only had a winning trade, that means that they're currently in a position that is negative. And same thing with this guy. It looks like, yes, he has a small. I mean, yeah, open trades. So these guys all could come back. And if you're watching this and you're one of these guys in this chat or in this competition, you might come back. So don't lose all hope yet. The last one I wanted to go over before we get into that news that you guys have been waiting for is the Battle of the Bulls competition. We got that starting again January 12th, but of course we don't care about that right now because we got one going on right now. And let's see who is at the top of the leaderboard. Let's see what people are doing. So if you don't remember, we're in round one currently. So round one has 4 groups. Everybody's split into 4 groups evenly based on your XP score. So of course, XP, the more active you are, the more you trade. It's not necessarily on your skill, but just your activity level. But of course, activity level, the more you trade, the more you're active in BullRush, you're just going to become a better trader. I mean, it's we've seen it time and time again. If you want to know some of the best traders and some of the people that make the most money, not just on BullRush, but just in day-to-day trading, go to our XP leaderboard or our monthly leaderboard. Those are absolute titans. Shout out to Master Terrace Ford Best. If you're watching, shout out to you. He's one of our best traders. Top dog, I would say. Oh, look, and what did I say? I was just talking about Master Terrace Ford Best, and he is in first place right here. He has $109,000, a little bit more than that of current equity. He's has 9% returns and 100% win rate. What an absolute shark! I will tell you that. So yeah, so you can go through here, like I said. You can see who is in first place on each group. So we see Wolf Trader in group A3 has 23% returns. Of course, we just talked about Master Terrace Ford Best with 9.1% returns. Group A4, we got Cartel with 17.56% returns. And then in group A2, we have Jade 007 with 10.99% returns. Now, of course, we can expand each of one of these and see their returns here. But let's go to the guy with the most amount of returns. I believe it was over here in group A3. Yes, Wolf Trader. So he has a 23% return and only a 74% win rate. Now, one thing I want to talk about and I want to make clear is when we've always done our, I've done a lot of trader interviews. I've done a lot of interviews with professional traders like Jason Sen, Mandy Rafsanjani, Will Davies, many, many more that aren't popping into my head right now. David Bell, many more. And what I found very consistent between all of them is their win percentages. And you know, don't put it. No, I don't want to put words into anybody's mouth. So not all of them have told me this, but a vast majority of the people I've interviewed that are successful traders and are profitable, you know, a majority of the time, they tell me that their win percentage is only 30%. So the average, I would say, you know, from the small sample that I've interviewed and I've talked to of actual successful traders that do it for full time, they don't have any other, you know, side, or they might have side incomes, but their main income is trading, is their win rate is 30%. And that's all due to risk management because, you know, everybody thinks, oh, I need to make, you know, $10,000 per trade to be a professional trader. I need to make $50,000 per trade off $1,000 entry or something like that. And it's not accurate, right? Even if most of the time you trade, you lose, as long as your losses are much smaller than your wins, then you're positive, right? And what I mean by that is, you know, like for example, if you set your risk at, you know, all of your take profits are at like 2x, right? But all your stop losses are at like 0.2, you know what I mean? Or something like that. That means you're going to essentially make the most you can lose is 20% of your bankroll, and the most what you're going to win every time is you're going to double your money. Now, I wouldn't say that necessarily. What I would usually say is like, you know, take profits at 20% of what your bankroll is. Or not even that, but like maybe like a 10% drawdown, and then make your 10 take profits at like 30 or 40%, right? You don't always want to double your money because that's a little unrealistic, but you know, that's a lot more conservative. And even if you do something like that, if you have a win rate of 30% or 35%, you're still going to come out on top across the week, the month. You know, you might not have it every single day as a win, but you know, over the whole month, over the whole year, over your career, you will be profitable. So let's hop back in here, see what what's his name? Wolf Trader, our guy with the most returns here so far today. Let's see what he has been doing. So his average winning trade, 165. Remember, all of our competitions, essentially all of our competitions, unless stated otherwise, you start at 100K. We have a few user-created competitions where if you create your own competition for your community or the public, you can choose up to $1 million, and as little as, I believe, 10,000. It might be 1,000. Don't get me wrong. I think it's 10,000 is the minimum. We can check in a sec here, but so from 100K, he made it up to 117K, 23% returns with a 74% win rate. You see that? I mean, that's a killer win rate, but I'm sure over here, if we look at his stats here, oh my gosh, he has done, how many trades has he done? So he's done a total volume of 10,000 lots. Wow. And it looks like he's been trading Bitcoin, mostly Bitcoin, XRP, a little bit of WTI, but mostly crypto here. It looks like which one was his most traded, Bitcoin or am I just missing it? Do I not see it? So I mean, this is another cool look that you can kind of see here. You can see, so 3 days, he's essentially, all of his trading was done in 3 days. The first day he made 17 grand. The second day he lost about $600. Then the third day he made about $500. So really great. Put in the chat right now what you think his most traded asset is. Do you think it's Bitcoin? Do you think it's XRP? Just looking here, I'm trying to guess. He's still got 4 pages, so a lot of. Oh, now he's trading gold and ETH. Okay, so I'm really interested. Let's go back to the leaderboard here and see what his most traded asset was. Not Master. Sorry, I love you, Master Terrasford Best, but I'm trying to see our boy Wolf. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Wolf, let's see what he's doing. So Bitcoin. Trading crypto, that's what I'm telling you guys. Make sure you hop into that weekend competition, that crypto competition. There's a lot of volatility in there, and of course, like I said, we're going to be talking about it here real soon. Challenge arena, make sure you hop into those challenges. I wanted to look at, let me get out of here. I wanted to do a highlight of the biggest win of the week. So let me just pull that up for you guys here. So the biggest winner of this week, I'm going to look at it live with you. What's his username? I don't want to say his real name. So I'm going to give a few shout outs here of just some people. Othman12 has gotten 2 challenges that he's won here. So congratulations to you. You've turned $5 essentially into 30, $60. So congratulations, Othman. You've turned, oh, even more. I just see another one here, another $5. All right, he's just killing it on these challenges. Let me look. I can't go in there. Okay. Congratulations to you guys. And then real quick before we get into the news, because remember I got a lot of Forex news, crypto news. We're going to do some technical analysis. We're going to do some fundamental analysis on a bunch of different assets. I just want to show you guys this because I don't think we've looked in this in months. I haven't even looked in, I know even on the side, I haven't looked at this in weeks, but let's look at the top dogs of BullRush. So here, first place, we got IMEBT from Morocco, first place with a whopping 737,000 XP score. Close behind him with 52,739 from Trinidad. We got my boy Master Terrace Ford Best, 1986. And then in third place, we got Softworks from Nigeria, 509,607. Shout out to you guys. Remember, this is of all time. So since BullRush was, you guys don't see that. I'm sorry. This is from all time. So these are all time, let's say, top 10 best people. Z Baby, Oasis, Humility 1949. I am a Jibo one. Teo Bobrab. Solanki 635, Lemise 04, Softwork, Master Terrace Ford Best, and Amen EBT. So shout out to all you guys. You guys need to get better. Sorry, not better, but you guys are killing me with these names, reading them out loud. Let's look at the monthly. So the month of December. Let's see who is at the top. We got Gaffer Boss, Migaffa. Shout out to Neil, our CMO, best CMO in the world. He is my gaffer, but Gaffer Boss with 23,000 in a single month XP. You are killing it. We got Beta in second place with 21,625, close behind there. And then in third place, we got Warganic 2025. I like that. Warganic. I kind of like that name. Great name from Indonesia with 21,600, 200. Wow, that is crazy. So third place, we got Warganic with 21,620. And then second place, we got Abida with 21,625. Only 5 XP scores behind. If Warganic literally just logs into the dashboard, you're going to overpass. I think logging in gives you 10 XP. So if you just log in and Abida doesn't one day, you're going to overpass them. So this is very interesting. We'll check this out on our first show in January and see the update. See, look, I'll take a screenshot of this right now just so we remember what the current stats are. Whoop. There you go. Whoop. There you go. Just took a screenshot of it. Sorry if the screen looked weird. But that's very interesting. Before we get into some of the news, I got a quick announcement from our sponsor here. And we will get right back into the action. Remember, stay to the end. You might win something. We might do a little giveaway. I might give you some secret sauce. And remember, we're going to be talking all about Forex, doing some technical analysis, fundamental analysis. We just got to play this quick 32-second ad, and I will see you in exactly, turn your timer on in exactly 32 seconds.
Imagine trading crypto, Forex, commodities, and more with the best prop firm in the game. No denied payouts, no BS rules, just fast funding and hassle-free withdrawals. Trade with freedom, get paid on time, and finally focus on what matters, winning. Ready to get funded? BullRush is more than a platform. It's your stage to trade, compete, and get funded like never before. Get ready to unleash your potential. Get ready for BullRush. Visit bullrush.com today. Are you in?
Are you in? I'm in. Yeah. So if you don't remember, member code WELCOME30. You're gonna get 30% off all new accounts. Save 20, get 20% off all 5, 10, and 15K accounts. And then save 15 for 50. Sorry, save 15 for 15% off all 50, 100, and 200K accounts. Now, without further ado, let's get into some of the news. Oh, let me remove this down here on the bottom. Yeah, actually, we'll keep it up. I don't want you guys to forget about the discount. So first up, we start with the weekly technical outlook, where CHF JPY continues to stand out as a high quality technical cross heading into the year end. Price has been consolidating just below recent highs, trading in a tight range near multi-week resistance as momentum cools, but structure remains intact. Whoa. The pair is holding above key short-term, medium-term moving averages, suggesting buyers are still in control unless we see a decisive breakdown below recent support. Traders are watching for either a clean breakout above resistance to signal trend continuation, or a pullback toward prior demand zones where dip buyers may re-enter. With safe haven flows supporting a Swiss franc and the yen struggling to gain traction, CHF JPY remains highly sensitive to risk sentiment and yield spreads, making it an attractive setup for both breakout and range-based strategies. And on that, we got a little bit more. I need to speed this up just a wee bit. Give me a sec here. There you go. Despite the Bank of Japan delivering its first rate hike in years, the yen weakened in volatile trade, underscoring that markets were more disappointed by the lack of clarity on future tightening than impressed by the hike itself. USD JPY and cross yen pairs initially spiked higher, reflecting renewed carry interest as traders reestablished long positions once it became clear that the BOJ was not committing to an aggressive normalization cycle. Technically, the yen remains vulnerable as price action continues to respect upward channels on yen crosses, with higher lows still forming despite intraday volatility. Until we see a sustained break below recent support levels, rallies in yen pairs are likely to be sold shallowly, keeping the broader basis tilted against the currency. Oh, I didn't even have the there you go. That was the title right there for that one. And sterling exploded to a 17-year high against the yen, with GBP JPY breaking decisively above long-term resistance, triggering a wave of breakout buying and non-stop loss runs from a technical perspective. This move confirms strong. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to restart that one. Let me take a sip. Oh, sorry. I went to a little side note here. I went to NASA on Sunday. I've had this like cough ever since I went there. I was in these little simulators, these like flight simulators. Allegedly, we went to the moon, but I was landing the moon rover and all this stuff. But I'm in this like simulator with all these little kids, and they're like coughing everywhere. And I was just sitting in the simulator, like, man, I'm gonna get sick. And I didn't get sick, but I just had a terrible cough all week. So if I have to stop because I have to cough, it's throat is it's not a sore throat, but I'm just cough has messed me up. So we're gonna restart this little Sterling breakout. Also, this thing on the bottom of the screen, I need to remove this. It's kind of distracting me. We need one thing. I'm too ADD to have multiple things on the screen. But let's go. Sterling exploded to a 17-year high against the yen, with GBP JPY breaking decisively above long-term resistance, triggering a wave of breakout buying and non-stop and stop loss runs. From a technical perspective, this move confirms strong bullish trends, a trend with price accelerating away from prior consolidation and momentum indicators firmly in expansion territory. This policy divergence story continues to drive the trade, a relatively hawkish Bank of England versus a cautious Bank of Japan. And until the gap narrows, pullbacks toward former resistances are likely to act as new support. Traders are now watching whether GBP JPY can consolidate above the breakout zone, which would signal trend continuation rather than exhaustion. And then finally, the Indian rupee, we always come back to it, staged a modest rebound against the US dollar, with USD INR slipping back below the key 90 psychological level, a zone that had acted as a strong resistance during recent sell-off. The move suggests short-term dollar strength may be losing momentum as profit-taking emerges after extended uptrend. Technically, the pair is showing early signs of consolidation, with momentum indicators flattening and price struggling to extend higher. That said, the broader trend remains intact unless USD INR breaks decisively below recent support, and traders remain cautious given the risk of renewed outflows or central bank intervention. For now, the rupee's rebound looks corrective rather than trend reversing. And that was our little bit of the Indian rupee. Now, you guys want to look at some charts? Let me know if you want to look at some charts. I'm happy to pull up anything you want to see. 10 a.m. dump. I haven't seen any dumps yet. Let me see if I can pull up some charts here, and we'll look at some charts. Now, I will say my GUI trades, I've had a little bit of an issue here just logging in with this account that I'm on. And this is what I thought. Give me a second here. Oh, all right. Well, I'm on a sample account right now, so I can't actually go into the trading charts. So for this, see what's going on here. Before we get into crypto, I just want to fun fact, the global cryptocurrency market cap today is down 0.31%. Fear and greed is at 21, which is good because I just love buying up in fear and greed. Once that's in fear, once we got the fear and greed index below 50, I'm like the hungry hippos. I'm just eating coins. You know what I mean? But crypto looks pretty good. We'll take a quick look at this here in a sec. But yeah, we got Bitcoin 88,000, Ethereum at 2,963, and XRP at $1.87. Not too good, but you know what? It's a nice little holiday sale. Now, let's talk about some news here. I couldn't pull up the Forex charts, so sorry. You're just gonna have to look this up yourself. Had some issues. I'm on a sample account, so I wasn't able to pull up GUI trades, and of course, I don't want to pull up anyone else's charts. So without further ado, let's hop right into XRP. So we start with a major development in the XRP market, one of my favorite, where XRP-linked spot ETFs have now logged 30 consecutive days of net inflows, pulling in nearly $975 million in fresh capital, a clear signal of a sustained institutional demand. From a trading perspective, this is notable because XRP is diverging from Bitcoin and Ethereum, both of which have seen more mixed flows during the same period. From a technical perspective, XRP has been holding firm above key support near the 78 cents to 80-cent zone that has repeatedly attracted buyers in recent pullbacks. On the upside, traders are closely watching resistance around 88 cents, followed by a more significant breakout level near the 95-cent mark, where selling pressure has capped previous rallies. Persistent ETF inflows at this scale often compress supply and build a base for volatility expansion, meaning a clean break above resistance could trigger momentum-driven upside, while failure to hold support would signal a return to range-bound trading. You know what? I'll go through all the charts after we talk about it. I don't want to, just keep stopping the news. So we'll just go through all the news and then we'll talk about the charts. So meanwhile, large corporate buyers have been quietly stepping into Bitcoin and Ethereum, deploying capital despite ongoing market uncertainty and intermittent selling pressure. These purchases reinforce a familiar pattern. Institutions tend to accumulate during periods of consolidation or weakness rather than chasing breakouts. Let me say that one more time. Institutions tend to accumulate during periods of consolidation or weakness rather than chasing breakouts. I just want to make sure that, and I'll say one more time, just because I think it's such an important thing that people constantly try to do. We have a thing down here in Florida. Florida is the, the lawsuit capital, I feel like, of the world. We have a thing called, for lawyers, ambulance chasers. They're the people who, as soon as an accident comes, they're like, call 911, then call 411 paying the lawyer because you got a lawsuit. But, everybody's always trying to chase a breakout. Everybody's like, oh, it's going up. Chase the breakout, chase the breakout. And especially, I'm not the best trader as far as Forex or stocks or anything like that, but I have been in crypto for quite some time. And one thing I've noticed is the whole market chases breakouts and sells crashes. Right. It's as far as retail traders, everybody's like, it's going up. Bitcoin just went from 87,000 to 97,000. Let me buy some Bitcoin at 97. And then they buy a bunch of Bitcoin at 97. Maybe it goes to 105 and then it goes back down to 90,000. They're like, I just lost all my money. And it's cool. Why didn't you buy it at $87,000? You know what I mean? That's what institutions are. And that's something, and I'm at fault for this too. When I was younger, I was doing the same exact thing. And there came a time and point, especially when, a lot of these institutions started, once you start seeing BlackRock and, Jamie Dimon with JP Morgan, and you start seeing these big institutions buying. And when they're buying at these exact times right now. I've been looking at the buy sell ledgers a lot on these cryptos, and it's like you see a ton of like sells that are like, $1,000 or $10,000, $5,000, even 50,000. But then you see even 10x the amount of buys that are like, you might see 100 sells that are like at $1,000 each, right? Not literally 1,000, but 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, around there, right? But then you see like 10 that are like a couple $1 million, and it's institutions, professional investors. Sorry. Excuse me, that are all investing at that time. So I think this is just something that's really great to mirror. When I try to invest, I don't trade like day trade as much anymore. Every once in a while I get in there, I get a little spicy with it, you know what I mean? But when I'm investing, I always look at this, and I always say this in my head: institutions tend to accumulate during periods of consolidation or weakness rather than chasing breakouts. And I think that's just so important, and not enough people follow that rule. And right now I look at, everybody's freaking out. I'm not gonna lie, I'll tell you guys a personal thing here. Over the weekend, I was looking at my portfolio. I try not to look at like, I look at like the micro aspects of my portfolio, like certain coins, but I looked at my total crypto portfolio, and I had bought a bunch in November of last year, made a good amount of money. But all this year, essentially, I just kept buying all year long. So my average prices are a little higher than they were before 2025. So I'm at like a 30% loss, and I just looked at like the 30%, or not 30%. I think I'm at like 25, in the 25-ish range around there. And I was like, man, 25. And then I looked at the number that was next to that, the amount of money that I lost, and I was like, oh, I had a little mini heart attack. I was like, my wife's gonna kill me. I just started thinking about the things I could buy with that money, things I could pay off with that money that I lost. And then I thought to myself, fuck that. Why am I upset? I didn't lose that money. I didn't sell. I still have the same amount of crypto. I still have the X amount of Bitcoin, or X amount of XRP, X amount of Ethereum that I have. I didn't lose any money. I didn't sell anything. So I didn't lose any. So you know what I did? Started buying more. I bought a bunch more this weekend. I bought a bunch more the last few weeks. I've been buying a bunch more for the last few weeks. That's low, bringing down my average cost, because at the end of the day, the things that I'm buying, I know will come back eventually, whether it's in a week, a month, 6 months. The core of crypto, the core coins, and I don't need to tell you, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, those core pillars of crypto will come back. And I'm not saying that we're going to see XRP at $10 next year. Probably not going to happen. Probably won't even be $5 next year. But I feel damn sure that it'll be over $2, and I feel pretty sure it'll be closer to $3. And who knows? Maybe it'll be $5 or $10. And same thing with Bitcoin. I don't know if Bitcoin will be at 200K next year. I hope so. A lot of people are saying it will be. But again, I wouldn't put all my eggs on Bitcoin being at 200K, but I know damn sure at some point it'll be over 100K again. And I know damn sure it'll be close to 125 probably. And I feel confident that it'll be close to 125 again sometime next year. So my little side rant there is that sentence right there I really, really, really like. Institutions tend to accumulate during periods of consolidation or weakness rather than chasing breakouts. And who makes the most amount of money? Institutions. So go where the institutions go, follow the money. And that's with anything in life. That's with crypto. That's with stocks. That's with gold and silver and oil and all that stuff. Go where institutions are investing. One more little side piece, silver. I'm feeling very, very strong about silver. Just look up the connections between silver, AI, and silver AI, and some of these electric cars and stuff like that. I think silver is going to be a huge, huge player. But without that, institutions tend to accumulate during periods of consolidation or weakness rather than chasing breakouts. From a market structure standpoint, corporate buying acts as a demand backstop, helping establish medium-term support zones and reinforcing the broader buy-the-dip narrative around Bitcoin and Ethereum. Exactly what I just said. While the short-term traders remain cautious amid macro headwinds, longer-term inflows like these continue to anchor prices and reduce the probability of disorderly sell-offs unless macro conditions sharply deteriorate. Jeez, I don't know why I couldn't say that. Deteriorate. Finally, crypto markets caught a bid in December 19th as broader macro sentiment improved, with Bitcoin rising roughly 1.4% today to around 87,900 and Ethereum gaining close to 4%, outperforming the broader market. Despite the bounce, price action remains technically cautious. Bitcoin is still trading below the critical $90,000 resistance level, keeping the broader structure range bound unless bulls reclaim that level with volume. Ethereum, meanwhile, needs a decisive break above $4,700 to continue trend continuation. Otherwise, rallies risk fading back towards $4,400 support. From a trading standpoint, this looks more like a controlled relief rally rather than a confirmed breakout, favoring range strategies and short-term momentum trades until price can decisively clear overhead resistance. That's what I got on crypto. So, like I said, let's look at a few charts here. So yeah, like I said, Bitcoin. Let's look at the top gainers here, just because I'm curious. Milady doodles. See, this is what's funny. This is how you know it's a great time to buy those core cryptos, is when you look at like the top gainers, and the top gainers are all these like, shit coins, Milky Way, doodles, Milady, chills. Some of these are all right, but generally not the ones with real good utility. And when you look at the top losers, hamster combat. Yeah, LOL. But most popular, of course, will still be Wow. Hodl is number one. Pi. I don't want to get into that. I have a big thing with Pi right now. I own a bunch of Pi, and very interesting. I own a bunch of Pi. I was very early on Pi. I actually mined Pi, and they're kind of holding my coins at the moment, which makes sense because they're trying to secure this, make sure nobody sells the Pi. Anyways, I've had a great show. If you guys have any questions, concerns, let me know what you want to talk about next week. Next week, we will not have a show, so we're skipping next week. So we will be back in the new year with a new show. Again, if you have any other questions, concerns, I will be here. Sorry. If you have any other questions or concerns, I'll be here. I'm ready to rock and roll. Our next live show will be, sorry, I was looking at the calendar here. Our next live show will be on the 2nd. I've had a great time. Remember to trade, remember to study, and remember to not give up. Have a great weekend. Happy holidays, and I will see you in 2 weeks.